One moment, NBA YoungBoy's name was trending for the music, and the next, social media was in complete chaos over a viral live that had everybody talking. This time, it wasn't a new song, a surprise drop, or a tour update. It was a wave of disturbing claims coming from one of his children's mothers, after she said her son came home with an injury that immediately raised questions online. Now, fans are shocked, blogs are picking apart every clip, and the internet is split right down the middle. Some people believe this situation could turn into one of the biggest family controversies tied to his name, while others are warning everyone not to jump to conclusions before all the facts come out. Either way, emotions are running high, accusations are flying, and the family appears more divided than ever. So what exactly was said? Why are so many people reacting this strongly? And how did one explosive live stream turn into a full-blown internet firestorm? Let's break down the reports, the reactions, and the growing controversy surrounding NBA YoungBoy. The internet moves fast, but sometimes a single live stream can move even faster. Over the past few days, NBA YoungBoy's name has been everywhere again, not because of a new album, not because of a tour announcement, but because of a viral moment that suddenly pulled his personal life back into the spotlight. A woman who is known online as one of the mothers of his children went live on social media and began speaking openly about a situation involving her young son. Within minutes, clips from that live stream started spreading across platforms, and fans were trying to understand what exactly was going on. According to what she said during that live broadcast, the situation started when her child returned home after visiting YoungBoy's household. She claimed that when she looked closely at her son's hand, she noticed a mark that immediately raised questions for her. In the live stream, she appeared emotional and frustrated as she explained that the explanation she received did not make sense to her. She told viewers that she believed something else may have happened, although at this point there has been no official confirmation from authorities or any verified investigation publicly announced. That distinction is important because everything that exploded online afterward has been driven largely by clips, reactions, and speculation. Still, the live stream was intense enough that thousands of people tuned in while it was happening, and millions more watched the clips later. Fans in the comments were debating what they were seeing, some expressing concern for the child involved, while others urged people to slow down and wait for verified information. During the live stream, the child's mother repeatedly questioned the explanation that had been given to her about the mark on her son's hand. She told viewers that she did not believe the story she was hearing, and she attempted to show images on screen that she believed supported her concerns. The moment quickly turned into one of those social media situations where viewers felt like they were watching a raw, emotional confrontation unfold in real time. People watching could hear the frustration in her voice. She spoke about the stress of co-parenting, about feeling like her concerns were not being taken seriously, and about how difficult it can be to navigate complicated family situations when so many people are involved. At different points in the live stream, she also criticized YoungBoy's role as a father, claiming that he was not as involved in day-to-day parenting as fans might think from social media posts. Again, these were her claims during an emotional broadcast, and none of those statements have been independently verified. But in the world of celebrity culture, moments like this can take on a life of their own very quickly. Once the live stream ended, the clips began circulating across blogs, fan pages, and gossip accounts. Within hours, the situation became one of the most talked about topics across hip-hop discussion pages. Some people believed the mother was simply speaking out because she felt ignored. Others suggested the argument might be connected to a larger dispute involving child support or visitation arrangements. And some fans argued that the entire situation should be handled privately rather than playing out in front of millions of viewers online. As more people discovered the clips, the conversation became more intense. Fans began revisiting older stories involving YoungBoy's complicated family history. Over the years, the rapper's personal life has often been part of the public conversation, especially when it comes to the number of children he has with different partners. Supporters of the artist often point out that despite the constant headlines, his music career has continued to thrive. YoungBoy has built one of the most dedicated fan bases in hip-hop. His supporters have stood by him through
legal battles, controversies, and countless internet debates. Because of that, many of his fans immediately pushed back against the viral claims, saying that social media often exaggerates situations before the full truth becomes clear. At the same time, the live stream created another wave of attention around his household, especially involving his wife. During the broadcast, the child's mother suggested that she believed the explanation she received came from someone inside that home. That comment caused viewers to begin discussing the role of people around the rapper and whether tensions between different families might be contributing to the conflict. Some fans began sharing older posts and rumors from previous years, attempting to connect them to the current situation. Others reminded people that online speculation can easily turn into misinformation when viewers rush to conclusions. But even with those warnings, the discussion kept growing. The reason moments like this spread so quickly is because they combine two things that the internet reacts strongly to: celebrity drama and family conflict. When a famous artist is involved, every small detail suddenly becomes a topic of debate. people analyze facial expressions, tone of voice, and even background comments from live streams, trying to piece together a story from fragments. In this case, the emotional tone of the live stream played a huge role in why the clips resonated with viewers. The child's mother appeared genuinely upset, and many viewers said they could feel the intensity of the moment through the screen. She spoke directly to the camera and told viewers that she felt her concerns had not been taken seriously. She also mentioned that the situation had been building for a long time, suggesting that there had been previous disagreements about parenting decisions. Although she did not present official documentation during the broadcast, she insisted that she planned to address the matter through legal channels in the future. That statement added another layer to the conversation, because it suggested that the conflict might eventually move from social media into a courtroom setting. Fans immediately began speculating about whether there could be a child support case or some other legal dispute developing behind the scenes. As the hours passed, more reactions began appearing from people connected to the situation. Some individuals who have been associated with YoungBoy's circle posted vague messages online, while others appeared to defend him without addressing the claims directly. None of those posts provided clear answers, but they added to the growing sense that tensions were escalating. Meanwhile, the rapper himself remained largely silent as the clips continued spreading. That silence only fueled more speculation from viewers, who were trying to predict whether he would eventually respond publicly or choose to handle the matter privately. By the end of the day, the live stream had transformed from a personal complaint into a full internet debate about parenting, responsibility, and celebrity culture. Thousands of comments appeared under reposted videos, with fans arguing about what they believed might have happened and whether the situation had been blown out of proportion. Some viewers said the moment revealed how difficult it can be for families connected to famous artists to resolve disagreements quietly. Others pointed out that the involvement of children makes situations like this especially sensitive, which is why many people urged caution before accepting any single version of events. Still, one thing was clear: the live stream had sparked a conversation that was not going away quickly. People were watching closely to see whether anyone involved would provide further explanations, and the debate across social media was only getting louder as new viewers discovered the clips and started forming their own opinions about what might have happened. The internet moves fast, but sometimes a single live stream moves even faster. One minute the timeline is filled with music clips and fan edits, and the next minute everything shifts towards drama, questions, and speculation. That is exactly what happened when a woman known online as one of NBA YoungBoy's children's mothers went live and began talking openly about a situation involving her young son. The live stream was not planned like a press interview, and it didn't feel rehearsed. It felt emotional, raw, and intense. Within minutes, people watching started recording the stream and posting clips across different platforms. By the time the broadcast ended, the situation had already become one of the most talked about topics in hip-hop circles online. During that live broadcast, she explained that the situation started after her son returned home from spending time with his father. She told viewers that when she looked closely at the child's hand, she noticed a mark that immediately made her uneasy.
According to her, the explanation she received about the mark did not make sense. She spoke with frustration in her voice and said she believed something different may have happened. At this point, there has been no official confirmation from authorities and no publicly verified investigation tied to the claim. Everything spreading online is based on what was said during that live stream and the reactions that followed. Still, the emotional tone of the moment made the video travel quickly across the internet. People watching the clips began debating what they thought the mark looked like and whether the explanation mentioned during the live could be accurate. Some viewers believed the mother's concerns sounded genuine. Others warned that social media has a habit of turning emotional moments into exaggerated stories before the full facts are known. The comment sections became a mix of concern, skepticism, and heated debate. The woman speaking during the live stream said she contacted people connected to YoungBoy's household after noticing the mark. According to her version of events, she was told that the injury came from a dog bite. She said she did not believe that explanation. During the broadcast, she even pulled up images that she said showed examples of dog bite injuries and tried to compare them to what she saw on her son's hand. Viewers watching the live could see how strongly she felt about the situation. She spoke directly to the camera, as if she was explaining her concerns not only to fans, but also to the people she believed were responsible for giving her answers. As the livestream continued, the conversation moved beyond the injury itself and into a wider discussion about co-parenting and responsibility. The child's mother said she felt like she had been handling most of the day-to-day parenting on her own. She claimed that visits sometimes felt more like moments for photos and social media, rather than consistent involvement in the child's life. These were her personal claims and frustrations expressed during a heated moment, but they quickly became talking points across blogs and fan pages. Viewers watching the clips could hear how emotional she sounded. She spoke about the pressure of raising a child while navigating a complicated relationship with a famous artist whose life is constantly under public attention. She also talked about how difficult it can be when disagreements between adults start affecting the peace of mind of a parent who simply wants to protect their child. The internet reacted almost instantly. Fans of the rapper began defending him, saying people should not rush to judgment based on one side of a story shared during a live stream. Many of them pointed out that YoungBoy has dealt with countless rumors over the years, and that social media often amplifies situations before the truth becomes clear. Others said that regardless of who was right or wrong, the involvement of a young child made the situation deeply serious and deserved careful attention. As the hours passed, clips from the livestream continued spreading across different platforms. Hip-hop blogs posted short excerpts from the broadcast with captions that hinted at major family conflict. Some posts framed the moment as a major confrontation between different people connected to the rapper's life. Others focused on the emotional intensity of the mother's words. One reason the situation captured so much attention is because NBA YoungBoy's personal life has often been a topic of discussion among fans. Over the years, people have talked about his large family and the challenges that can come with raising many children while maintaining a demanding career. Supporters of the rapper frequently argue that despite the headlines and controversies, he has managed to remain one of the most successful artists of his generation. His fan base is known for being extremely loyal. Through legal battles, social media arguments, and countless rumors, many supporters have continued streaming his music and defending him online. Because of that loyalty, reactions to the livestream were split. Some fans felt protective of the artist and questioned the motives behind making such claims publicly. Others said that if a parent is worried about their child, speaking out emotionally might be understandable. Another layer of the conversation started when viewers began discussing the role of people inside YoungBoy's household. During the livestream, the mother suggested that the explanation she received about the injury came from someone close to the rapper. That detail led people online to begin talking about his wife and the dynamic between different families connected to him. Suddenly, the situation was no longer just about one injury claim. It became a wider conversation about relationships, loyalty, and the complicated world of celebrity families. Social media users started sharing older stories and rumors connected to the rapper's past.
Relationships. Some tried to connect those old stories to the current situation, while others pushed back and reminded people that rumors from years ago do not automatically explain what might be happening now. Still, the internet loves to revisit old headlines when new drama appears. The intensity of the live stream also played a role in why it spread so quickly. Viewers said it did not feel like a calculated statement or a planned announcement. Instead, it felt like someone finally expressing frustration that had been building for a long time. Moments like that often resonate with people watching because they feel real and unscripted. At several points during the broadcast, the child's mother said she believed the situation had been misunderstood by people around the rapper. She told viewers that she wanted answers and that she felt her concerns had not been taken seriously enough. The emotional energy in her voice made it clear that she was not simply speaking for entertainment or attention. Once the livestream ended, the clips continued circulating online. New viewers kept discovering the video and adding their own reactions. Some people expressed sympathy for the mother, saying any parent would be upset if they believed their child had been hurt. Others said the situation should be handled privately rather than discussed in front of millions of strangers. Meanwhile, many fans began wondering whether the rapper himself would respond. At the time the clips were spreading, there was no immediate public statement addressing the claims. That silence only added to the speculation, as people waited to see whether anyone involved would clarify what actually happened. By the end of the day, the situation had grown far beyond the original livestream. What started as one emotional broadcast turned into a widespread online debate about parenting, responsibility, and how celebrity families handle conflict in the public eye. Thousands of comments appeared under reposted clips, each one offering a different interpretation of what viewers believed they had seen. Some people argued that the entire situation showed how quickly personal conflicts can become public controversies when famous names are involved. Others said the story was a reminder that behind every headline about celebrity drama, there are real families dealing with complicated emotions. No matter which side viewers believed, one thing was clear. The livestream had started a conversation that was not going away anytime soon. Fans, critics, and casual observers were all watching closely to see what would happen next, and whether more details would eventually emerge that could explain how this emotional situation unfolded. The conversation did not slow down after the livestream ended. In fact, it only became louder. By the next morning, the clips were everywhere, reposted on hip-hop blogs, reaction channels, and fan pages that were trying to piece together what had happened. Every platform seemed to have its own version of the story. Some accounts focused on the injury claim itself, while others highlighted the emotional tone of the mother's words. The more the clip spread, the more people began looking deeper into the history between the people involved. Many viewers who had followed NBA YoungBoy for years already knew that his personal life has often been complicated. The rapper has built an enormous career while dealing with constant headlines about relationships, legal issues, and family situations. Because of that history, some fans immediately saw the livestream as another chapter in a long series of public conflicts connected to his private life. Others, however, said the situation felt different because a child was at the center of the conversation. Even though nothing had been confirmed by authorities, the fact that the live stream focused on a young boy returning home with a mark on his hand made people pay closer attention. Viewers were no longer just discussing celebrity drama, they were discussing something that involved parenting, safety, and responsibility. During the live stream, the mother also mentioned that this was not the first disagreement she had experienced while co-parenting. She said tensions had existed for a long time, and she suggested that the current moment was simply the breaking point. According to her explanation, there had been earlier arguments about visitation, travel arrangements, and communication between households. None of those claims have been independently verified, but they added another layer of context for viewers who were trying to understand why the live stream became so intense. As the clips continued circulating, fans began revisiting older posts and interviews connected to the rappers' relationships. Some pointed out that YoungBoy has spoken openly in the past about how difficult it can be to balance fam, fatherhood, and personal struggles. Others shared screenshots from previous social media posts that seemed
hint at tensions between different people connected to his life. This online investigation created a wave of speculation. People started asking questions about how often the child visits his father's household, who usually supervises those visits, and whether disagreements between adults might have influenced the situation. Of course, most of those questions came from strangers on the internet who had no direct knowledge of the events. Still, in the world of social media discussion, speculation often spreads just as quickly as verified information. The live stream also triggered another type of reaction that happens frequently when celebrities are involved. People who had once been part of the rapper's extended circle began posting vague messages online. Some wrote cryptic comments about loyalty, trust, and family conflict. Others hinted that there was more happening behind the scenes than viewers understood. None of these posts directly confirmed the claims made in the live stream, but they added to the sense that the situation was bigger than one single argument. Meanwhile, fans of the rapper continued defending him strongly. Many supporters argued that YoungBoy has always been a target for online drama and that critics often exaggerate stories about him. They pointed out that the rapper has spent years dealing with legal battles, public criticism, and rumors, yet his music career has remained extremely successful. Those fans also reminded people that social media can be a misleading place during emotional moments. A short clip from a live stream may capture someone speaking in frustration, but it does not necessarily show the entire context of what happened before or after the recording started. Because of that, they urged people to avoid making harsh judgments until more information becomes available. While fans debated online, another detail from the live stream began drawing attention. During one part of the broadcast, the child's mother mentioned that she planned to take the situation to court. She said there was a date scheduled for a legal hearing related to child support and parenting responsibilities. If that statement is accurate, it means the conflict could eventually move from social media arguments to a formal legal process. That possibility immediately caught the attention of many viewers. Legal disputes tend to bring more scrutiny than online disagreements. If a court case becomes public, documents and statements may eventually appear that clarify parts of the situation. Until then, everything circulating online remains part of an ongoing debate rather than confirmed fact. The mention of a court date also changed the tone of the conversation. What began as a viral livestream started looking more like the early stage of a larger family dispute. Some observers said the livestream might have been an emotional reaction connected to that legal process. Others argued that airing personal issues online could make the situation even more complicated for everyone involved. Another factor that kept the story alive was the role of NBA YoungBoy's wife. During the livestream, the child's mother suggested that communication about the injury had come from someone inside the rapper's household. That comment led to a wave of discussion about the dynamics between different people in the family. For years, fans have viewed the rapper's wife as someone who stays relatively quiet online and avoids public arguments. Because of that reputation, the sudden mention of her name during the livestream surprised many viewers. Some people defended her, saying there was no evidence that she had done anything wrong. Others questioned whether tensions between different families might have contributed to the disagreement. As social media debates continued, another familiar name from YoungBoy's past began appearing in conversations. People started mentioning Ayanna Mayweather, who is also connected to the rapper through one of his children. Viewers remembered the complicated history between several people involved in YoungBoy's life, including incidents that had made headlines years earlier. Even though Ayanna herself did not launch a dramatic livestream during this moment, some observers noticed that she interacted with posts discussing the controversy. Those small interactions were enough to fuel more speculation among fans who were already following every detail closely. The situation quickly turned into one of those internet moments where multiple storylines start overlapping. One person posts a reaction, another person responds with an old screenshot, and suddenly dozens of different theories begin circulating at once. It becomes difficult for viewers to separate confirmed information from speculation. Throughout all of this, the central claim from the original livestream remained the same. The child's mother insisted that she did not believe the explanation she received about her son's injury. She said she wanted answers and that she felt her concerns had been dismissed. That emotional frustration was what started the entire conversation.
On the other side of the debate, supporters of the rapper continued saying there could be many explanations that have not yet been discussed publicly. They argued that jumping to conclusions could damage reputations without proof. Many of them emphasized that the safety of a child should be taken seriously, but also handled carefully, rather than turned into viral content. As the hours turned into days, the story kept evolving. New viewers continued discovering the livestream clips and adding their own interpretations. Some people believed the situation revealed deeper issues within a complicated celebrity family. Others believed it was simply another example of how quickly personal disagreements can spiral into public controversy when fame is involved. By the time the debate reached its peak online, one thing had become obvious. The livestream had opened a door to a conversation that involved far more than one moment on camera. It had brought years of relationships, past conflicts, and unresolved tensions back into public view. And as more people joined the discussion, the pressure on everyone connected to the story only continued to grow. As the online debate kept growing, people began looking even deeper into the history surrounding NBA YoungBoy's life. For many viewers who had followed his career for years, the situation felt like another example of how complicated things can become when fame, relationships, and family responsibilities all collide in the public eye. The rapper has built an enormous career while constantly navigating personal struggles, and because of that history, every new controversy quickly becomes a major topic across the internet. The livestream did not just spark questions about the injury claim, it also reignited conversations about how YoungBoy manages fatherhood while living under the spotlight. Over the years, fans have watched him become a father many times, and the topic of how he balances those responsibilities with his career has often appeared in interviews, social media posts, and online debates. During the livestream, the child's mother argued that she had been raising her son mostly on her own. She said that although visits happen from time to time, she believes the day-to-day responsibility of parenting falls primarily on her shoulders. These were her personal statements during an emotional moment, and there has been no independent verification of those claims. However, they quickly became a major talking point among viewers who were trying to understand the larger situation. Some people watching the clips said the conversation revealed how difficult co-parenting can become when both parents are living very different lifestyles. Raising a child in a private environment is already challenging, but when one parent is a global celebrity constantly traveling and recording music, the situation can become even more complicated. Supporters of the rapper pushed back against the criticism. They pointed out that YoungBoy has spoken before about wanting to be a better father and trying to improve his personal life after years of chaos. In several interviews, he has reflected on his past mistakes and explained that he hopes to grow as a person while continuing to build his career. Because of those earlier statements, some fans said they felt the rapper was trying to change his life and move towards stability. They argued that moments like the livestream should not erase the effort he may be making behind the scenes. At the same time, critics said public accountability becomes more important when someone has such a large family and such a powerful platform. Another detail from the livestream that kept people talking was the way the mother described her son's feelings about his father. She said that despite everything happening between the adults, the child still asks about his dad and says he misses him. That comment hit many viewers emotionally. Even people who were unsure about the claims themselves said it reminded them that behind every celebrity headline, there are real children involved. The internet often treats celebrity drama like entertainment, but moments like that made some viewers pause. It shifted the tone of the discussion from gossip to something more serious. People started talking about how difficult it must be for children growing up around constant public attention and family disagreements. While these emotional discussions continued, the conversation also turned toward YoungBoy's career. Many observers wondered whether the controversy could affect his public image. Some said the situation might damage his reputation, especially if more serious allegations continued circulating. Others argued that his career has already survived numerous controversies, and that his fan base remains extremely loyal. In fact, history shows that the rapper's popularity has
often remained strong even during difficult moments. Over the past decade, he has faced legal cases, intense criticism, and countless online rumors. Yet his music continues to perform well on streaming platforms, and his supporters consistently defend him whenever new controversies appear. For those fans, the livestream was simply another example of how public figures often face dramatic accusations online. They argued that people should wait for facts rather than forming opinions based solely on emotional statements from a livestream. Still, the situation raised questions about the long-term impact of personal drama on an artist's public image. Even if loyal fans continue supporting the music, repeated controversies can influence how the broader public views a celebrity. Some observers said the real issue might not be the immediate reaction, but the overall narrative that builds over time. During the days following the livestream, another rumor began spreading across social media. Some posts claimed that during an argument connected to the situation, harsh words were exchanged between the adults involved. The exact wording of those alleged statements has not been verified, but the rumor alone created another wave of criticism online. When stories like that appear, they often travel faster than facts.
One person posts a claim, another reposts it with a stronger caption, and soon thousands of people are discussing it as if it were confirmed. Several commentators reminded viewers that online rumors should always be approached carefully, especially when they involve family matters. While debates continued across social media, the rapper himself remained mostly quiet. He did not immediately release a detailed response addressing every claim made during the livestream. That silence created two very different interpretations among fans. Some supporters believed he was choosing to handle the matter privately rather than fueling more online arguments. They said responding publicly could make the situation worse and bring unnecessary attention to a family dispute that should be resolved away from the internet. Others interpreted the silence differently. Critics argued that when serious claims circulate online, a clear response can help prevent misinformation from spreading. Without a direct statement, speculation tends to fill the gap. As the story continued evolving, another detail from the livestream returned to the center of discussion. The mother had mentioned a court date related to child support and parenting arrangements. According to her statement during the broadcast, the hearing was scheduled for later in the year. If that information is accurate, it means the conflict may eventually become part of a formal legal process. Court hearings often bring more structure to disputes because both sides present their perspectives through legal representatives rather than social media posts. Documents, testimony, and official rulings can sometimes clarify issues that were previously surrounded by speculation. For now, however, the public only has fragments of information, a live stream filled with emotion, a wave of online reactions, and a growing list of rumors circulating across the internet. Without verified details from official sources, the full picture remains unclear. What is clear is that the situation has already affected how people talk about NBA YoungBoy's personal life. Some viewers see the controversy as a sign that deeper family tensions may exist behind the scenes. Others see it as another example of how celebrity conflicts become exaggerated once they enter the world of social media. Either way, the livestream changed the conversation around the rapper almost overnight. What started as a personal complaint shared on camera quickly turned into a global discussion about parenting, fame, and responsibility. Every new comment, repost, and reaction added another layer to the story. And as the debate continued spreading across blogs and video platforms, people began asking the same question again and again. Was this simply a misunderstanding that had been amplified by the internet, or was it the beginning of a much larger conflict that would eventually play out in court and in public opinion at the same time? As the days passed and the clips from that livestream kept circulating, the conversation around NBA YoungBoy reached a new level. What had started as a single emotional broadcast slowly turned into a larger debate about reputation, responsibility, and the complicated reality of living life under constant public attention. Every blog seemed to have its own version of the story, every reaction channel had its own theory, and every comment section was filled with people trying to decide what they believed. One of the biggest questions that began appearing across social media was whether this controversy could actually damage YoungBoy's career. Some critics quickly claimed that the situation might create
serious problems for his public image. They argued that when family conflicts become public, especially when they involve children, the story can follow an artist for a long time. However, many longtime fans responded to that idea with skepticism. They pointed out that the rapper's career has already survived numerous controversies over the years. Despite legal battles, public arguments, and intense media attention, his music has continued to perform strongly on streaming platforms. His supporters often describe him as one of the most resilient figures in modern hip-hop. For those fans, the bigger question was not whether his career would survive, but whether the internet was exaggerating another personal dispute. They argued that YoungBoy's core audience has always been focused on the music rather than the gossip surrounding his private life. At the same time, some observers said the situation highlighted a deeper issue that many celebrities face. When personal conflicts play out publicly, they can slowly reshape the narrative surrounding an artist. Even if the music continues to succeed, the public image of the person behind that music can change over time. This is especially true when family dynamics become part of the discussion. The live stream placed attention not only on the rapper himself, but also on the people around him. His wife, the mother who went live, and other individuals connected to his life suddenly became part of a public debate involving millions of strangers online. The mention of the upcoming court hearing added even more attention to the situation. If a legal dispute truly takes place, it could bring new details into public view. Legal proceedings often involve documentation and testimony that provide a clearer picture than emotional social media moments. Until that happens, most of what the public sees remains speculation mixed with personal claims. The live stream showed one person's perspective during a very emotional moment. The reactions from fans, critics, and commentators added dozens of different interpretations to that perspective. Another reason the story kept spreading was the way it connected to the larger narrative of YoungBoy's life. His rise to fame has always been dramatic. He came from difficult circumstances, built a massive career at a very young age, and spent years navigating legal challenges and personal struggles. Because of that background, every new chapter in his life tends to attract intense interest from both fans and critics. Some people watching the situation unfold said they hoped the conflict could eventually be resolved privately. They argued that when children are involved, public arguments rarely help anyone. Others believed the live stream was a sign that the mother felt she had no other way to express her concerns. These different perspectives kept the online debate alive. Every time a new viewer discovered the clips, the conversation started again from the beginning. Some viewers focused on the emotional tone of the live stream. Others focused on the lack of confirmed evidence. Still others focused on the larger issue of how celebrity families handle conflict. Throughout all of this, the rapper himself continued focusing on his career. Music releases, fan discussions, and performance clips kept appearing online as usual. This created a strange contrast where one part of the internet was debating family drama, while another part was still celebrating his music. That contrast shows how complex celebrity life can be. An artist can be dominating streaming charts while at the same time dealing with intense personal scrutiny. In many ways, the success of YoungBoy's career and the chaos of his personal headlines have always existed side by side. Some cultural commentators say that is part of what makes his story so fascinating to the public. People see both the success and the struggle at the same time. They see a rapper breaking records and selling out shows, while also navigating a life filled with emotional challenges. The live stream simply added another chapter to that ongoing story. Whether the claims made during that broadcast turn out to be accurate, misunderstood, or somewhere in between, the moment itself already changed the conversation around his family situation. Fans, critics, and casual observers are now watching closely to see what happens next. Will anyone involved provide more details about what really happened during that visit with the child? Will the rumored legal dispute eventually reveal more information? Or will the entire situation fade away as quickly as it appeared once the internet moves on to the next headline? Those questions remain unanswered for now. The only thing that is certain is that one emotional live stream managed to capture the attention of millions of viewers and sparked a debate that spread across the entire hip-hop community online. Some people believe the moment revealed deeper tensions that have existed for a long
time. Others believe it was simply a misunderstanding, amplified by the speed of social media. Until more verified information appears, the full truth behind the situation remains unclear. What this situation ultimately shows is how powerful a single moment on the internet can be. A camera turns on, someone speaks their mind, and suddenly the entire world is watching. Within hours, the story becomes larger than the people involved, shaped by thousands of opinions, reposts, and reactions. For NBA YoungBoy, the music career that made him famous continues moving forward. For the families connected to him, the hope among many observers is that whatever disagreements exist can eventually be resolved away from the chaos of social media. Until then, the conversation continues, the speculation continues, and millions of viewers remain curious about how this complicated situation will unfold in the months ahead. What makes this situation so intense is that it leaves people with more questions than answers. A viral live stream, emotional accusations, and millions of viewers trying to figure out what really happened. On one side, you have a mother saying she noticed something concerning when her child returned home and felt the explanation she received did not make sense. On the other side, there has been no official confirmation, no verified investigation publicly announced, and no full response that explains the entire situation from every angle. That is why the internet is so divided right now. Some fans believe the claims should be taken seriously and want answers about what really happened. Others say people should slow down and avoid jumping to conclusions until real facts come out. Situations involving family and children are always sensitive, and many people believe these kinds of conflicts should be handled carefully rather than turning into viral entertainment. At the same time, this story also highlights how quickly things can explode online. One live stream, one emotional moment, and suddenly millions of people are watching, reacting, and forming opinions. The truth is, we still do not know the full picture. There may be details that have not been shared publicly yet, and there may be explanations that only the people directly involved truly understand. What we do know is that the conversation is far from over. With talk of legal disputes and ongoing tension between families, many viewers will be watching closely to see whether more information eventually comes out. Will someone involved break their silence and explain what really happened? Will the situation be addressed privately away from social media? Or will the internet continue debating the story without ever knowing the full truth? Now we want to hear from you. What do you think about this entire situation?
Do you believe the claims made during that live stream, or do you think the internet may be reacting too quickly without all the facts? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because this conversation is clearly far from finished. And if you want more updates on stories like this, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next breakdown when new details start appearing.